G'day, it's Clive Rocksinger here. What I have here is a real simple circuit. Yeah, it couldn't be simpler. Little tiny circuit, put it up on your breadboard and do a few three-sided equations and you got it all sorted out. Now, when you do reality and you want to check waveforms and you want to do proper real tests, you're going to be looking at something like this. Just turn it around there. You're going to be looking at this. All of this is for 3 components. It's insanity. I've now got a new device. I'll just get this going. Try to do it one-handed. I did have my digital information on it, but at the moment I've only got my music on it. I've got a song there that I'm practicing the mandolin. I bought a mandolin, an electric one. But that's for recording digital information, like information on BC 108s, or if I need to look up dated lists. I've got a watt meter, and the idea of these meters is not to complicate, it is to simplify, because what I can do is get one circuit up and take a multitude of readings all at the same time, which is your perfect situation. Then you just take a photo of it, and then I can take it in and analyse the living hell out of it, because there's so much going on here. Now, to start with, you come through your mains. Right, you're coming in 240 volt in Australia. Now that goes into this unit here. This unit doubles as what it does is it goes through a very high powered resistor. See what happens when you build a voltage divider, it comes off 12 volt off the back side of the transformer. And this is about a 30 or a 50 watt resistor, and the idea is that I make a voltage divider across this part here, and I can drop that right down, but what happens is all the power falls across that resistor, and I've tried to do that in the past, trying to get the power right down low, and I've fried a few components, even running 10-20 watt wasn't enough, so I think that's a 50 watt or something, so it can handle it now. And then what you do is you get it all down. Now those are your 3 components. And think, what the heck's all that? The reason is this little coil, which it's actually hard to buy a coil, had to be broken up so that I could take readings off it. Now if you're going to take voltage and current, you're going to be pulling wires out and putting them back in, and that's what you don't want to be doing. And that's why you need to use one of these things here. That's why you want to do that with that. Because then you're not pulling things out and putting them back in again. You can wire it up and have dedicated pins and just plug into it, and that's exactly what you want. Then you've got your dual trace crow, which means you can get your input and output at the same time and lay them over one another and compare them. So there's a multitude of things that you have to have here. You're looking at, well, nearly $2,000 worth of stuff here. And like there are many things that you'll buy along the way. Alright, this is one of them. Little impact gun, perfect for electronics. I bought this at Digitech and it was actually quite cheap. Most of them were $400. I think that was quite affordable. I think it was under $100. Really wasn't much at all. Then you've got your crimping machine. This is a fancy one. This one's like your robust one. I can't even use it because my wrists are good, so swollen from arthritis. This one's a killer. It does a really nice job. This one's for shearing your wires. Instead of going there with bloody side cutters trying to clip the end off the wire, you have this little devil. And it actually, I can't even do it. And it actually spreads the wire for you and just pulls the stuff off it. I bought a little, what do you call it, ratchet. Little tiny one. But the thing that was the killer here, and this is an absolute must, especially if you're getting old, is you must, I repeat must, get one of these. Because these little circuit boards you'll find that after a while they get a little bit loose, and you really need to tighten the living hell out of them, and that's what you use that for. You can get a real lot of pressure on that and really tighten them right up and they won't come out, especially when it comes to these little things here. That's just welding wire. That's 1/8 welding wire, a panel beater, and I just cut it off with a pair of side cutters, and they're little terminals on this thing I made. This is all homemade. I call that the HCT, the high current tower. So all of this stuff you're going to buy, even things like markers, you buy them and you use them once, you go back like 2 weeks later and they're dried out. I don't know how long they'll last, so I can't get them to last. So I'm buying these ones now from the engineering shop. And they tend to last a lot longer. You know, so you've got to kind of go almost half professional with this stuff. The watt meter's a killer. To buy a watt meter you're looking at thousands of dollars, and that was about $60 or something. But what you do is, all it does is it reads the mains power. But what you can do is you hook your circuit up with that running, put your circuit in, and you can tell how much power the circuit's using when it's on, which is fantastic because you can do power equations and calculate it all out and get a little bit of an idea of whether it's dissipating the power that you're calculating. So it's fantastic for that. So there's a whole multitude of things here that you need, and all this is just 3 components. Look at the crap. And this is what you're doing for real. Imagine you set this up on the timer. It's going to take you 3 hours to set it up, and then Mum comes home. Oh, isn't that wonderful? You're doing electronics. Now pack it up, we're going to have tea. She used to do that all the time. Mum would say, I want to do a project. I'll do it on the table. And then she'd come home and say, I pull it up. Like, oh, Jesus, Mum, I'm going to leave it set up for like 6 months. And that's the whole thing with this. If I set this amplifier up, there's a list of things that you measure on amplifiers, and it's mind-boggling. I can't even remember some of the terms. I wrote them down in one of my files. But I've been reading a book on amplifier design. I don't know, I'm fairly a little bit way into it, probably 20 or 30 pages into it. But the amount of things that you read that you test on an amplifier is staggering. And so all of these things have to be measured, and they have to be tested, and you have to prove them to be correct. It's all fine and well getting a number, but how do you know it's right? You've got to check it with the real thing, and this is what you're up against if you're going to do real stuff. So now I'm going to start doing testing, and I've got to settle this up. I've got a program. I'm going to write a program for this voltage divider, and all I do is just feed the values in, and I can just play around with it, and I don't have to set the circuit up. But you really need all this stuff if you're going to do this stuff for real. You know, and you're not playing little games, and you want to design real amplifiers. Well, you want to get your wallet out, because you're going to get flaming. You're going to get blisters on your fingers from pulling money out. Trust me. It's a very, very expensive hobby when you're doing it for real. And notice there's no power supply in this circuit.